Hello, ladies and gentlemen, crypto deep divers. Welcome back to Weekly Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. Also, I will touch on Hong Kong protests, as well as Yellow Vest movement in Paris. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop or token swap. Also, you can follow me on Twitter as well. And if you haven't installed the Brave browser, you can click the link below. And this is a pretty cool browser. It blocks out all the advertising. And if you're interested, you can click the link below. Let's talk about Bitcoin quickly. So Super Crypto tweet about China today is the US of the 1920s. And the coming crisis will be exceptional in one important aspect. It will be the first ever truly global economic crisis and depression. So he tweeted about this, and I think he talked about, I don't know about this, but if this comes true, all sound money will collapse in price. Gold, silver, Bitcoin, no exception. And another interesting tweet he tweeted about is he tweeted about at least one huge crash in Bitcoin where prices will hit the floor and boys will do everything to achieve their goal. I hope I will be smart to buy that time. And another thing I think he talked about is so I would do everything that Warren Buffett and Jamie Dimon do currently right now. So you can see Warren Buffett, this is Berkshire Hathaway, of course it's owned by Warren Buffett. You can see the total cash holding has been steadily increased ever since 2010. And this is the cash holding, and also the CME group. This is from the CME group for the silver holding for JP Morgan. You can see JP Morgan has been holding over 161 million ounces of silver, and this is as of November 11, 2019. So looks like the big boys are holding cash and silver right now, or commodities. And let's talk about the end of 21 million Bitcoin fractional reserve crypto banking. So Mastercard filed the crypto reserve, the crypto bank, the patent in May 21st, 2015. So basically, they can legally, Mastercard crypto bank can legally allow to trade 9 times more Bitcoin than it will hold in the reserve. So for every 1 Bitcoin deposit with the Mastercard bank, trader will be able to loan out 9 Bitcoins for trading at the exchange. And this is completely legal. So I don't know if you still remember back in 2017, a lot of YouTubers saying that the institutional investor, the big bank hasn't get into the market. I don't think so. Back in 2015 and even back in 2013, they already see the potential of Bitcoin. They're already in the market. And I think a lot of YouTubers are so naive during that time, 2017, they're saying that, oh, the big bang is still behind the game. They haven't get into the market. And a lot of things they don't tell you in front of everybody. They do it behind the scene. They did a lot of research on. They also developed their own blockchain as well. Especially JP Morgan, they have they developed their own blockchain and also the big accounting firm. They have been study the blockchain technology probably 10 years ago. So I think people are very naive saying that they didn't get into the blockchain or cryptocurrency. They're late in the game. They didn't get in until the 2016, 2017, but they already in the game probably long time ago, but they are very quiet. They do it behind the scene. So I think right now, everybody knows the current financial system is a fractional reserve banking system. That means if you deposit 10,000 into the bank, and the bank requirement is only hold 10% of the 10,000, which is 1,000. So the rest of the 9,000, they can just loan it out to the consumer as a mortgage, consumer credit card loan, or student loan, or automobile loans, or private loan, or whatever. So they can do whatever they want. That means they multiply those money or thin air, and because they only require to deposit to maintain reserve for only 1,000, 10% out of the total deposit they have. And the Federal Reserve requirement, I think used to be 5%. I think they increased to 10%. So depending on the net transactions, from 16.3 million to 140.2 million, you require 3% reserve. And then for more than 142 more than 124 million, then you require 10% reserve. I think it used to be 5%. I think they increased it. So this is a reserve requirement by the FDIC. And so this is pretty ironic because the current financial system, Bitcoin is trying to design to solve it. They don't want to do fractional reserve banking. And yet the banker have designed to solve the Bitcoin scarcity problem just by applying fractional reserve to the crypto. And of course, this is not good to the crypto community. And the goal is to flood the Bitcoin market with paper Bitcoin. And of course, using fractional reserve, derivatives, rehypothecation, and commingling. I talked about that in my previous video numerous times. If you follow my channel, you probably know what I'm talking about. You can go back to my previous video about what is rehypothecation and also the CME future market, the Bitcoin future market. They trade Bitcoin without holding any single Bitcoin. They only because they settle in US dollar. They don't settle in Bitcoin. And also, of course, with the options, they are going to implement the options next year as well. And this is of course the big banks and the Wall Street are playing all this game right now. And of course, the fractional reserve banking is just creating money out of thin air. For example, if you have 500 million in the asset, you basically multiply by 1 divided by 10% is the cash reserve requirement. This means from 500 million, you inflate, create all this funny money, become 5 billion. This is the current fractional reserve banking policy right now. So out of thin air, you create 5 billion. So this is a little bit crazy. So, of course, derivative, paper Bitcoin. So if you don't own your Bitcoin in your hardware wallet, you don't own Bitcoin basically. And you can see, of course, 60,000 Bitcoin traded in the CME future contract market in September 24th, 2019. CME has no wallet, no Bitcoin at all. They just trading, speculating based on the future price, and they settle in US dollar. And yet they use this to manipulate the price of Bitcoin and basically suppress the price of Bitcoin as well. And of course, physical Bitcoin exchange, Coinbase, they have the second best with the over 48,000 Bitcoin they're trading in hand. Those are the actual Bitcoin. And so the CME future contract is just, I think, unfortunately, is to just control the price of Bitcoin. So let me know what you think about the 21 million Bitcoin fractional reserve crypto banking by MasterCard. And this is pretty much engineered to inflate the supply of Bitcoin basically using all this financial instrument, derivatives, CME, Bitcoin future, market, options, whatnot. And let me know what you think. Please comment below. So the next topic we're going to talk about the Hong Kong protests. So right now, all over the world, there's a whole bunch of income inequality as well as suppressions, freedom suppressions as well, and of course, I think this is they said. I think this is from one of the Polytech University from in Hong Kong. They set fire to prevent the police from entering the campus, and I think the police also use excessive force as well to fight the protester. And not only because Hong Kong is controlled by the Communist Party, and of course they lose their autonomy. Used to be one country, two system. Now they lose their autonomy, and they have press suppressions, and also there are a lot of people probably sent back to China as well, disappear from Hong Kong to China. I mean, maybe they sent back to China. Just like in Xinjiang, they have concentration camp in China to re-educate the Muslim, and also they separate the Muslim family as well. And if you see the documentary from BBC, you can see that the father or the parents, I think, escaped from China to Turkey, and then when they go back to China, their hometown was lost, all totally destroyed, all vacant. When they go back to their hometown, and then they want to find where the kids are. I mean, the kids basically went to the concentration camp speaking Mandarin, and then they don't even recognize their parents anymore. They find out their son or daughter in Facebook. They are just in a concentration camp. So this is pretty scary. They separate families. This is a very brutal, authoritarian, totalitarian regime. And yet in the 20th century, we still have that kind of regime still exists in this world. This is very disturbing. And another disturbing fact is you can see there's some I think there's some rumor saying that the Chinese government, they send out some sniper from China. Basically, they will shoot down those student in the Polytech University. And you can see their weapons is pretty scary. There's a knife in there, and with a gun. And another thing is, I think they also arrest a whole bunch of the medical first aid people. Like you can see the doctors, the EMT, and then some nurses or first aider EMS got arrested. I mean, to me, this is basically, I think, is crazy because they are not part of the protest. They are just here to help in case somebody injury. I mean, I don't know why they arrest them. This is a little bit ridiculous. And another thing is in the protest for the Yellow Vest movement in Paris. There's also a yellow vest movement in Paris as well. And I think there's so much. This is kind of, I mean, I don't know, because there's so many protests around the world that could be trigger a black swan event eventually. And the thing is, there's a huge income inequality right now. The rich is getting richer and the poor is getting poorer. And there's so much injustice in the system. And seems like the rich has always had the privileges, and also maybe they get away with certain stuff. And also, I think in Hong Kong they lose their freedom of speech and all that. I don't know. Eventually, they will just. I mean, unfortunately, they were controlled by China at this time, so nobody can say anything because they use their military might to crush the city and all that. So I don't think, and also China is getting stronger and stronger because of the economic growth, and even I think in terms of economic, they are the second largest economy in the world. So, and for the last decade, they have been growing like crazy. And of course, right now, U.S. is realizing the threat of China, but I think it's a little bit too late because China is already growing so big, so they don't have to listen to U.S. or Russia. But anyway, China and Russia is also an ally as well, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you think about the current unrest around the world, the Yellow Vest movement, also the Hong Kong protests. And do you think that will trigger another Black Swan event in the future? Please comment below. I would love to hear from you. And what do you think about the end of 21 million Bitcoin fractional reserve crypto banking because of this? Please comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you find this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel. Also share with your friends. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out the upcoming airdrop or token as well. Also, you can follow me on Twitter as well. Remember, crypto deep divers, we the people take control of our money. Stay wise, stay safe, peace. I'm not a financial advisor. Investing in cryptocurrency and commodity can has inherent risk. Please use the due diligence.